Good morning, everyone. I hope all you guys are doing well. Welcome to the All Season 365 podcast, sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance, powered by NC Football Connections. Today we have a special guest. We have Coach Ian Tatum, offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Walkertown High School in Walkertown, North Carolina. Today he will be speaking with us about installation for the offensive line. Coach, how are you doing today?
Coach, I'm good. We talked about before we got on here, it's break time, for us educators, kind of recharge and, get back at it after the new year and living life, man. Love it. Had a great year. So ready to get on here. Clinic season, man. Get on here and get our talks in. And I love doing it. I love that you're doing this. I've already watched your video. It's on YouTube. I love it. So appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate all you do, Coach. Look forward to today's presentation. And the floor is yours.
All right. Let's see. You see that, Coach?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, like I said, I appreciate Coach Simmons having me on. Usually, I'm the one on the other side of this, so I appreciate him having me on to get to talk. I don't get to talk that often, but like Coach said, I'm Coach Ian Tatum, the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Walkertown High School here in North Carolina. Coming off of an 8-4 season after a good turnaround after 3-8, we did some really good things, especially on the offensive line. So, kind of want to talk about, how to get all 5 of your offensive linemen to know what everybody's doing on one play. I think that's very underrated, and I thought that it was kind of widely accepted that everybody kind of cross-trained their offensive line. And the more that I talk to coaches through social media and stuff like that, that's not really the case. You kind of still see the one guy, he's molded into being one position. If he's a right guard, he plays right guard, and it's the only thing he knows, right? If he's on the backside of power, he knows he's pulling right on power left. So I always cross-train because I never want to put myself in handcuffs when it comes to who can play what position. So we're going to talk about those things. But I do have my it's abbreviated offensive line manual that kind of go with the guys. Those are my dudes. My 5 up front, 4 seniors, 1 junior coming back. But kind of what we're talking about is just raising standards. And I'm gonna try and go through this quickly because I do want to get to install. But just standards that I have for my guys, and I feel like it helps with when it comes to install and the standard that we have and getting them guys to understand. So first thing we do is finish everything, whether it be reps, blocks, sprints, whatever it is. We always want to finish. 2, I need you to care. When you care, right, you take more ownership. You take special, care for what you're trying to do in your craft, right? Because offensive line is a thankless position. So we always try to, show that you care. I can show that I care for them. We'll get to that in a second. Yes or no, sir. Look folks in the eyes. Speak quick, clearly. Always give respect. That's some old school things that I think still has value in today, especially with kids we're trying to, for lack of a better term, raise up and be consistent, dependable. If I know that my buddy next to me is going to be doing what he's supposed to do, we can all play fast and then not have to worry about trying to do his job. I can do my job. And come to work every day and come on time, just trying to instill those values, be accountable and hold others accountable, especially in our group, and let that bleed over to the others. Play with violence and high motor. You got to with offensive line. And then make your opponent want to quit. I'm not going to get into film today, but I finish everything. It's so big for us. So make your opponent want to quit by just being relentless and just being nasty. Communicate. That goes into our install a lot because if we communicate our calls and everybody knows what we're doing and nobody can, have a mistake. Then lead by example. We want to be the leaders of the team and everything that we do. Here we go. So pictures of my guys. My wife and I, we decided, hey, when they show they're going to do good things, we're going to take care of them. And that's how they're going to play. They're going to play for you, man. They're going to play hard when you take care of them. So we always set like a pancake goal. We always set like what I call get them out the club blocks, just doing more above and beyond and finishing. And then we get them, they wanted Wingstop this week. So we got them Wingstop and they loved it. But we just some expectations and goals. Not going to read everything, but we want to win the opener. We want to try and win conference states. And then here we go. So pancakes, get a stack, you get a helmet sticker. effort. Get them out of the club blocks so that we get them candy, snacks. And then top 3 in pancakes. They get a meal. We end up feeding all of them. And then 3 members of the trench mob. Get into that in a minute. But the members of the trench mob being all conference, and we did 3. This guy, and then I don't have the picture of Jaden on there, but 3 of my guys got all conference, and then keeping that GPA up 2.7 or better because that's something easy to do. The 2 big things I want to talk about, especially with install, is, and I have this. We go over this every beginning of the year, spring, summer, camp. These are just the terms and blocks, front side and back side. That's going to be huge when we get into the actual install stuff. Where the play is going, away from where the play is going. These are terms that I will use on a daily basis. Down block, you're just blocking the first man backside. Double team, 2 OL working together. Nothing, groundbreaking. These are my double team calls. Everybody calls their double teams different things, but play side center and the guard. Well, I always say play side center. The kids laugh at me because there's no play side center, but the center and the play side guard is the ace. Play side guard, the play side tackle, the deuce. Play side tackle and tight ends, a Tate. I'm not a very smart man, so tackle and tight end, Tate. And then the center and the backside guard is a scoop. Backside guard and tackle is a slip. And then the Tate is still the same as the tackle and tight end. Solid. If you follow me on social media, there's a lot of carryover between Coach Simmons and I. So if you happen to follow me on Twitter, you see the solid call. I did a post about power and duo. We're making that solid call. There's no pool. We just block our gap. Pretty much power turns into duo. Skip pull, block a second level defender. Trap pull, block a first level defender. Hinge is backside, inside, protect the inside gap, and then block back. Basic backside of gap scheme. Reach step, 1 foot behind, 1 foot step, 2 feet behind the line, just reaching like outside zone. And the GODD or God, gap on, double down. That's pretty much gap down backer for most people. You block your backside gap. These are rules on the front side of gap scheme. On, does somebody head up on you? No. Look for a double, not a double opportunity. Then you just climb down to the linebacker. Then push for block outside defenders, like a fan technique. All right, so, and then this is just, we're a family, guys. One of my center got hurt, which is number 52 in this game. Very muddy game. It was crazy. Won like 14-6 or something like that. But he got hurt and was out for the season, so we did a little picture for him. So, you take care of these guys, they'll take care of you. So, I did have a huddle playbook, but I no longer have access to that because the person's huddle I was using didn't pay their bill. Not ours, it's somebody else. But I am going to use Canva and make it look as best I can. So, here we go. Install, right? So like I said before at the beginning of the video, some people just say, hey, you're a right tackle. All you need to know is what you do at right tackle on every play, right? And they never teach what everybody else is doing. So all he's now just one position. He's not as valuable as somebody that knows 2 or 3 or 4 or all 5 positions on a football play. So when we come out into spring or summer install, whatever it is, I teach them play side and backside. So if we're going to be running whatever concept, okay, to the right, okay, this way, okay, for us, the center, right guard, right tackle is play side, right? That's where the ball's going. And then left guard, left tackle is backside, away from where the ball's going. So I get them to understand that. Play side, backside, that's huge for me, right? So let's say we're going to install God's play, right? We're just going to install power. And that's usually where we start with most things when it comes to install. And we're not going to get into an install schedule, but that's usually where we start, power. So play side, that GODD, gap on, double down. So the center comes up, he's gonna block his gap, right? He's got a one technique shade in this A gap, so he's gonna block back, he's gonna block it, right? GODD. Guard, he's gonna gap on, double down. Is there anybody in his gap? No. Is there anybody on him? No. Let's look for a double team. So he's gonna call a deuce with the tackle. Tackle's looking gap on, double down. He's got a guy in his gap. Great. Okay. Then since it's gap scheme, we work the backside linebacker. So we're going to work to this wheel right here. Then backside guard, always on gap scheme will pull. I install that from day one. Hey, backside of gap scheme, you're going to pull, right? And I'll quiz them on that. And I'll say, hey, on power or whatever we want to call it, what do you have on the backside as a backside guard? We'll say pull. All right. Well, is it power? Is it counter? Well, it's power. So what kind of pull do you have? So they're going to skip pull. And I'll say, how? I'm going to say tight off the double team. Tight off the double team. Okay. For the first wrong color jersey. That's how I say it. Because defensive guys, they will do whatever in the world they want to do. They might be in their gap, they might be out of their gap, they might be bringing another guy down. We never get fixated on a certain guy because this guy might fly out, safety might fly down for whatever reason. They're like, Coach, that doesn't make sense. It's like defense doesn't make sense. So I would say first wrong color jersey on the outside after you come around this double team. Backside has a hinge. Step down to protect the B gap. No one's there. Okay. Then you're going to block back on the defensive end. Okay. And I teach them all at the same time. Okay. So play side, GODD, great. They can block it. They know their rules. Backside, okay. You're going to have a skip pull because it's power, and you have a hinge. Okay. So that's how we would install power. And I do it all at the same time with those guys. So I teach on the board. Then, since we're educators, that's an activity of learning. Now we're going to have an evidence, right? So now we're going to have evidence of learning. So then I'll come up and I'll have whoever, the right guard. The right guard comes up, right? And the guy that happens to play right guard for me, he'll come up and I'll say, hey, block power. He's got to be a blocker for everybody. Because I need him to know what the center's doing, need him to know what the tackle's doing, need him to know what the other guard and tackle are doing as well. So he'll come up. He's always going to start with his assignment. So come up with the right guard. He's going to say, hey, GODD, coach. My gap, no one's there. Head up, no one's there. So I'm going to look for a double. I say, well, what are you going to call? He's like, I'm going to call a double team. What's it called? I'm like, what's a deuce? Great, call a deuce. So the tackle will now work to the wheel. Okay, what's the center doing? I don't know, coach. What's his rule? Same as mine, GODD. All right, well, he's got somebody's gap. Yeah, block it back. Cool. So now they're starting to understand. If it's on the play side, GODD, gap on double down. Okay, we're working that. Okay, so now here's the fun part. He's the play side guard on power to the right. So now he's going to get up here. He's going to say, okay, what's the backside guard doing? I don't know, coach. Were you not listening? Well, yeah, I was. Okay, bullcrap. So what I'll come up and I'll say, listen, the same thing that you have as a play side guard going to the right, because you're a right guard, the same thing you have at backside guard when the play is going to the left. Blows their mind. That's why they need to know play side, backside. What does the backside guard have on power? Well, he pulls, skip pulls. Great. Because if we flip the play, the right guard is now on the backside. He now pulls. He's playing guard. He should know what that is. So he's like, oh, yeah, I pull when it goes away from me. It's going away from him. He's got to pull. Great. And then backside, he's hinging. Cool. I'm not worried about, he's J block there. Okay. So that's just power. That's how we install it. Now make sure the play side, backside stuff, the kids they know that. We'll go to the next one. We'll go counter, right? I say power might be God's play, but counter is my play. So counter, we always say, hey, it's so easy to install because power and counter go together because the play side, gap on double down, they're going to be looking here to there. Now, just like on power, backside of gap scheme on power and counter for us, guard always pulls. So you know if it's power or if it's counter. So if it's counter, now you're going to trap pull. Remember back in the presentation, I have what those mean. Skip pulls for a second level defender, trap pulls for a first level defender. So they're going to open and trap. Backside tackle now is skip pulling. So I just tell them, hey, we're just flipping responsibilities. Now you're going to skip pull tackle, tight, off the double. Great. Same thing that the guard does on power. Okay. And of course, I'll have this H over here, but for for the drill, we'll just go ahead and remove these guys. All right. So now it's the same thing. Now I'll probably pick on the center, right? Because the center's all block back, left and right. So now he needs to know what the tackles are doing and what the guards are doing, just so he can either play them or he knows how the overall play will develop. So again, I'll have him come up. Okay, same thing. Okay, let's just say we'll go this way. We'll go to the left now. Okay, so now we're going to go left. So count to the left. Okay, we're not going to get into any of our calls, but let's just say he's going to know. Hey, the center has a special rule when it comes to GODD. I know I'm cheating here, but he's always going to go backside. He's not going to block down, right? Unless we have a cage call, which exchanges his responsibilities, which will keep this guy here and then he'll pull. But we're not going to get into that today. But he's going to always block back to the first D lineman. If he's in a 3 technique, you get there, pull flat. Block down flat, you'll get there. So same thing. Okay, gap on double down. There's a guy in my gap. Great. Is there a guy in your gap? No. Is there a guy on you? No. Can you double? So he looks to the outside first. Is there anybody on the outside? No, there's nobody to double with. So I got to double inside. So now they're going to call still a deuce. He's going to work down, keep this guy on one technique, check his hip, and they're going to climb to the backside linebacker. Okay, same thing. Backside guard pulls, backside tackle pulls as well. Okay, that's how I would just keep it that play side, backside, because if you play right tackle, whatever you do when the play goes to the right, you can do the same thing at left tackle if the play is going to the left. And that's kind of how I cross-train those dudes, and we've had a lot of success when it comes to that. Just kids understanding the whole play instead of, I'm at left tackle, I'll block down. That's all he knows, right? Hey, counter to the left, I block down. GODD. Well, what's the guard doing? I don't know. That doesn't help, right? He needs to know what his buddy's doing. He needs to know what the center's doing. He needs to know what these guys are pulling. He's pulling the trap to widen the hole. He's pulling through the hole to lead. So I need to do a great job on my down block to make sure that we keep our edge of the hole solid. I need to climb because if he comes over top, he's making a play. They need to know the whole play so they can understand the whole concept of what we're trying to get done. And I believe, and I've seen, that you will have a lot of success doing that with your offensive line. They'll play a lot harder. If the kids go out there, I know all I do is down block, and I don't know what we're doing out here. They're not gonna play that hard. I'll be completely honest with you. That's just things that I've seen, people I've talked to. Coach, that's kind of what I got. I can kind of go into some other stuff if you want me to, but that's kind of trying to, how to install, plays with all 5 of you guys instead of having to just train at one position.
Absolutely, Coach. I appreciate you stepping through that. I don't have any specific questions, but while you were talking, I were taking on a few key notes. For example, and again, good job, by the way. For example, you did a good job of clearly defining key terms and blocks. I think that's important because sometimes as coaches, we forget that our kids don't really watch football. I know that some of them do watch football, but most of them don't watch football. So stepping into a positional group and assuming that they know these terms and terminology, that's a bad move. So you did a good job of clearly defining key terms and blocks. You also, you were very intentional with clearly defining front side versus backside. I mean, that's a term that we use loosely, but I don't think that a lot of players, yet even coaches, understand what it is. Front side is where the ball is going. Back side is where the ball is not going. Yeah. You teach all your players at the same time. Okay, so you're thinking more conceptual. You're teaching everybody their rule at the same time. Why? So that they can play down the line. You clearly define your gap schemes, as in who's pulling. The guard is pulling, and skip pull versus the track pull. And what I really like is when you explain the puller, your definition of who to block is the first wrong color jersey. Because when we're drawing the diagrams, for example, when we see power, more often than not, the guard is going to insert for a play side backer. Well, like you said, sometimes the defense might slant. So sometimes the defensive line might be in different positions, and that play side backer might not be available. But the old rule is never pass one to get one. And most importantly, you teach the why behind it. Okay, why is it important to combo back to the backside backer to get movement? That makes everyone else's jobs that much more easier. So those are just a few of the many notes that I took. But that's all that I have. But thank you for all you do. Do you have anything else for our listeners?
I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, I have a passion for offensive line play, so 100% hit me up. We can talk about it. I think it's an age-old adage of players won't, they won't play hard for you unless they know how much you care. And I've definitely seen that. You don't have to go out. You don't have to spend a lot of money on feeding your guys. You don't have to do that. But you can show love in other ways. You can show, and we do that. Whether we take them someplace or the conversations we have about life, they know that, hey, Coach Tatum's got my back, so I'm gonna play hard. And so, and I totally encourage guys, make sure football and coaching is not about, it is about wins and losses, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the micro of it, it's about the relationships that you build. So make sure that you go and invest in your kids and show them that you love them.
Absolutely. Well, wise words, and like Coach Tatum said, be intentional with your relationships. Clearly define what that is. And a simple check-in is just a simple text, or if you're in the school building, I'm greeting them, just checking in with them. Saying a simple hello. That stuff goes a long way. So all right. Well, thank you, Coach Tatum. And again, give him a shout out, give him a follow. He's very active on Twitter. His ultimate goal is to unify coaches. He also has a YouTube channel as well. He's uploading quality content as well. We, thank you for all you do. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Coach Tatum directly. And thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.